Hey guys, so today I am going to be doing a different video than what I've done before. I am going to be doing a mixed girl tech video. And before we begin, if there's anybody in here who hasn't seen videos that I've done in the past, I do I do stutter. My pauses and repetitions are not because I forgot what I was going to say, but that's just the way that I talk. And also, I do have Tourette syndrome, so if you see like weird um, movements or noises, then that's okay too. So this video is very different because I really haven't addressed race on my channel before. I did make like 2 or 3 videos like a long time ago just talking about race in general, but not specifically how it affects me or like my personal view of it. So Mixed Girl Tech, as you know, are questions found on Tumblr, but I'm also adding questions that other people have asked right before I make the video. So first question is, what is your background or what are you mixed with? Basically, I am black and white. I am, I am, I am, I am multiracial. Not biracial, as many assume. If you want to get specific with the black and white, when I took an ancestry test, it was um, like 30, between 35 and 40% European and 60% African and like a small percent of Asian. I have no idea where the Asian came from or anything about it, so that doesn't really mean much to me. And more specifically, um, I am African American. Family's been in the U.S. forever, and also Louisiana Creole via my dad's side. So it was a mix of basically um, multiracial mulattoes, free people of color, marrying um, throughout generations. So extremely mixed. Um, what was it like growing up with different backgrounds? It was pretty easy for me. I grew up in a predominantly white neighborhood and schools, and I didn't really experience many racial problems actually. And wasn't I really wasn't aware of race until I was like 11 years old. So I pretty much lived in a bubble really when it came to like um, racial issues or like anything regarding um, discrimination or anything like that. Um, Next question is, have you ever been ashamed of being multiracial? For me, I was never really ashamed. There was a period when I was in like seventh and eighth grade that I did try to um, not try to fit in. Um, I would sort of just take what race people thought I was, because people always thought I was different things, and just say that I was that thing to try to fit in. Not because I personally experienced racial problems, but simply because I didn't like being different. My school was predominantly white. I think we had like a handful of other mixed kids and some black kids, and even a smaller number of Asian kids. So I just didn't want to feel, or I didn't want to seem like the odd one out. Um, what races or ethnicities have you been mistaken for? Um, Almost everything under the sun. People usually assume that I am strictly biracial, like black parent, white parent, or I've gotten different forms of Hispanic, even from other Hispanic people themselves. I've gotten black and Asian on occasions. This one guy that I met actually thought that I was half half Burmese, which was the oddest that I really don't see at all. And I think he was blind, but that was like the most odd one. So really a bunch of different things, just depending on my age. It has gone up and down depending on age or where I am geographically as far as the states. And one thing I really did like though was when I was in college, it was an area that had quite a lot of mixed people as well as a lot of Creoles. It was in Southeast Texas, and I also went to school for a very short time in Louisiana. So that was the one time that people never asked the what are you question or assumed for me to be something else. People pretty much assumed I was Creole because I seemed similar to everybody else there, which I really was. So I really appreciated that. So that was pretty cool. What ethnicities have mostly been attracted to you? Mostly black and Hispanic, I would say. I have gone out or hung out with black guys, white guys, a guy who was Indian, and I don't see many Indian people in the area that I live in, but that was really cool. And also a guy who was white and Hispanic. And these were just like very brief dates, nothing stemmed from them. My first like boyfriend, I was only like 13, but our like long-term relationship, he was actually black and Creole as well, and we had grown up together, and we had known each other for years. So that was pretty cool. How would you answer the question, or if you had a child, how would you teach them to answer the question when people ask, "What are you?" For me, I don't like the wording of that question. I don't mind people asking me what my background is at all, and I'm very happy to tell them and answer any questions that they may have, but what are you is just the wrong way to word it. So I would have my kids say something sarcastic like I'm human, or I'm a boy, or I'm a girl, just something like that until the person can learn to phrase it better. So that's how I would handle that whenever I do have kids. I just want them to know that people have to be respectful in how they ask. And if they want to tell them their background, they can. If they don't want to, then they don't have to. It's completely their choice. Gotta word it right. What would you say you wish your parents didn't shield you from, if anything? I would say I wish they didn't shield me from a real racial identity. Race was something that was never talked about in my family because I do have such a mixed family on both sides. Even though my mom is the parent who is African American, her mom is biracial, black and white. So we do have a lot of mixture there as well. Even though she looks like the average black woman, for lack of better words, so nobody's ever questioned her if she's anything different. So for all intents and purposes, she is black, even though she does have a close mixed background, and she actually knows relatives who weren't black. But since it was something that wasn't really talked about, I was never told that you are mixed or you are black. I didn't question it until other kids started to ask me, and then I was confused on how to answer. So I would ask, like, you know, relatives, what do I say? And they say, you know, you're just whatever you think you are, which ideally would sound good, but the fact is people continue to ask and they will always make assumptions. So I would have liked to have a better way of answering that question before the age of, I think, like 14 is when I fully came into my identity well enough. And are there any benefits to being mixed? Not really to me. You could talk about, you know, light skin privilege, which is a thing, but I feel in my eyes is sort of exaggerated among some people. I mean, I can think of some instances where me being light skinned has been easier than if I was darker skinned, like a lot of my relatives or peers. But something extremely beneficial aside from socialization things, I don't think there's any real big benefit to it, but it's also not terrible either. I think it's just as great as being black or white or Asian or anything other than that. So that is all the questions. Oh, one more. What would you like to say to other biracial or multiracial kids who may be trying to figure out their identity? I would say be yourself. Don't feel like you have to choose one side or the other at all. Don't feel like you have to be one-dropped. If you want to identify as black because you truly do feel closer to your black family or your black peers or the way you experience life, that's fine. If you choose a different identity because of these reasons, then that's fine too. But don't allow society to pigeonhole you into a excuse me. Don't let society pigeonhole you into a box just because they say you should be this thing because that's how they think other people will see you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later. Bye.